There we go. I'm going to use your real name. I could do that too, right? I'll use the stage name and aliases though. I'll cover you.
You could just say Matt.
Yeah.
I know what everybody calls me.
Oh man, thank you for doing this. Like I said, I'm just going to do a little chit chat for a minute. Let people get on here. Some of your destinations have errors. Oh, it's not going to my Facebook. Awesome.
I don't. Mine's not connecting for some reason, but I after it's over, I'll share it out. I'll share it out.
Okay.
Because I have a lot to talk about.
This may be the issue. Facebook post. I don't know, Deb. If you could get that on there, it'd be awesome. I don't know why it does it sometimes, and other times doesn't do it. I don't know, but it'll be all right. She'll figure it out. She'll get it shared over. Got a few people coming on already. We're just it's on the spot time. It's Sunday, 6 p.m. Central. I'm here with Matthew.
How's everybody doing?
Thomas, aka Cali Sober.
I don't know. Can I see here? If I click this, can I see the comments?
You should be able to. There should be on the screen. I haven't got any yet, but
all right,
maybe I can post one and get it started.
Can you see me now?
Yeah. There we go. There's a comment. You see it?
Can you see me on the camera?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you
see me on the camera?
I can. Can you hear me?
You're silent. You're muted, I think.
No, I'm not. No, boy. Can't see y'all see my comments. I can see them. I don't know why I muted it. Can you turn your audio up of me? I'm not muted. Oh my God. How about now? Well, this is incredible. I don't know what to do. He can't hear me. Can you hear me? I'm gonna go out and come back in. My mic's on. Oh my Lord.
I don't know why I can't.
Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can anybody hear or see me? Oh, I'm done. There's no way to do it. I quit. Thanks, StreamYard. I don't know what to do. My mic's on. It's not muted. Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now.
Yep.
All right. Well, I had to smack the counter for it to work. Look,
all right, we're good now.
Okay, my mic was on the whole time. I don't know what happened. I went out and came back in once. Maybe we just had to wait to have some people come on. Can I definitely have somebody tell me this is getting shared to my page? Deb, are you doing that? All right.
So I did click the comment box. As soon as I clicked the comment box, I stopped hearing you.
Wow, okay.
So I don't want to click the comments again.
Can you see them at all on your screen?
I can't see anybody or anything. I can see you.
I don't know why he can't see the comments.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm happy with hearing you, so I'm happy with them seeing me and hearing you.
Okay. I couldn't get it on Facebook. Oh boy. I mean, technology-wise, there's only so much we can do, but we still got a job to do. I like it when it's shared to my page because that's kind of the thing. But anywho, everybody, it's on now, and there'll be more joining us. Thanks for hanging with us, figuring that out. I don't even know what to say. Just apologies, I guess. My mic was on, and I don't know. We clicked the comments and lost me for a minute, but we're back now. This is on the spot. This is Matthew Thomas, also known as MattyIce. This guy just dropped an EP, a brand new EP last night. He raps. He's got skills. He's got talent. I like the stuff that I've heard. He's taken what he does, in my opinion, and he'll speak for himself. He takes parts of his ugly past and turns it into some pretty beautiful art, if I do say so myself. And I've had it's been a pleasure, sharing his YouTube channel out and his new EP and stuff on my page. And I recommend listening to him. It's a very good outlet. It's healthy. And he's also, if you don't mind me saying so, we'll just get this elephant out of the room or in the room, Cali sober. And for me, like about a year ago, I had just, I'm going to speak up for myself, judgmental, just dumb issues with that. I guess I thought I was high and mighty and I was doing sobriety the right way. Like I don't take caffeine or vape or something. I mean, whatever. But I've come to realize that that's not my thing to judge. I don't like weed, but I like Matt Thomas. So, I mean, we're supposed to like the person and love the person, man. And he's been cool with me and, been upfront and honest about it. And we've talked a little bit before we came on here where he was years ago. That was unmanageable, unlivable. He was barely existing. So now that he's, dropping new music, he's with his girlfriend or whatnot and working and healthy and using medicinal marijuana the Cali sober way, his life has become manageable. And it's not for me or anybody in the recovery community. I'll say that one more time. It's not anybody's place in the recovery community to judge somebody for that. Just keep yourself sober, keep doing your thing. And this shouldn't be triggering to anybody because if you're confident in your sobriety and in your faith and in your recovery, you should be able to hear things like this because we're rooting and cheering and loving the individual, not necessarily condoning or championing their choices if they differ from us. But we're all brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of God. That's how I look at it right now. And last thing I'll say is God's timing in each individual's life is for that person and God to know we can't. So all of our judgments and our overly suggestive ideas are moot. They're null and void. They go out the window. Just love the person, support them, find out who they are. That's what matters the most. So all y'all doing that in the recovery community, bashing people for having their lives manageable these days, man, that's lame. Don't do it. So that's what I got to say on that, Matt. I know you wanted to keep it cool, but that's just my opinion. And I've come a long way to get there. So
no, dude, I really like how you said that. And I appreciate you putting that out there because, I had somebody put a comment, on a post of mine where I said that, I was trying to tell people that I'm Cali sober so that I changed my Facebook name to Cali sober because I don't want people to follow me and then start feeling like I'm trying to push them towards something that they don't want to do. So to solve that issue, I made my name Cali sober, right? So somebody had made a comment, basically like, you change your name for attention and this and that. And I'm like, and I'm reading it and I'm like, dude, you're someone that is in recovery, and we don't know where people started.
That's true.
I'll start with like my rock bottom. My rock bottom went in 3 months. I went from having my house. I had a brand new Audi, almost paid off. I had everything and I got it through selling, but this is how it ends. I ended up, I started trying to sell the press perks and dude, I started sniffing them. And within 3 months I lost my apartment. I lost my car. Like I was in a room literally, I rented a room with the last money I had because I was so sick because I couldn't stop using. And I sat in this room for a week throwing up, like pooping on myself, like sniffing line after line after line, like almost, literally almost like dying over and over and over in this room. And I couldn't even leave to go get a drink. Like I remember going to the Rite Aid down the street, and I couldn't even, well, I made it. I literally crawled out of my house to my car because I still had my car at that point. But I made it down the street, like a couple blocks down the street. And I sat there in that parking lot throwing up for probably 2 hours. Like it was horrible. So anyway, when I look at my life now, sometimes we don't appreciate everything that we have. We don't realize how much we really have. I always look back to that moment when I was in that room for a week and I couldn't leave, so yeah.
And
Happy you said that the way that you did, because you don't know where people started, and
you know, it's just the truth. You know what I mean? And if we're all supposed to be kind of in this together, then there's some things you just gotta like let go of. By the grace of God, there goes I, right? And I'll tell you what, I always put myself in like my guest's shoes. And first and foremost, Matt, if you lived to please everybody, then you ain't truly living. Like it's never going to happen. You are never going to make the right decisions for everybody in your life. The only people you got to care about at the end of the day is you when you go to bed, your girl, the people in your house, and whatever your relationship with God is, man, whatever your higher power is. I respect all that, because this walk requires us to be truthful in all of our affairs to the best of our ability. We ain't going to do it perfectly, but if you could lay your head down at night and you're enjoying life and you could smile and you feel healthy, then and you're grateful, then that's all you have to worry about. That's somebody else's problem, man.
Yeah.
So, well,
dude, and I'll be honest, I just want to say this. I'm not saying this for pity. I'm saying this so that people understand how they affect people when they talk down on people in recovery for the way that they're recovering. Yeah. When I saw that message from that girl, I sat here and I cried for a half hour to my girlfriend, and I called somebody. I'm not going to say their name, but there's somebody big in recovery, and I cried to him on the phone about it, because that stuff hurts, because you're like, you think you're doing everything good. Like you think you're happy, you think you're doing good. And then you have these people that are also in recovery that post a comment that's like, damn, like, why would you do that?
Bro, it's just not for everybody. I mean, I hope you get to the point someday where that doesn't affect you like that, but I absolutely respect you for sharing it. But it kind of drives me crazy that a bunch of imperfect people are trying to judge other people perfectly. And it's kind of insane to me a little bit. It shows some character defects and flaws that person still needs to be working on, because it's your life. And I don't see how the decisions you make is going to affect somebody else's recovery. I don't understand it. Like I don't get it. And from where you said you were, a few years ago, basically dying, bro. I mean, you easily could have died, dehydrated, throwing up all like that. Like you were on the verge. God said, nah, So if God saved you from yourself, I mean, he wants to have an authentic relationship with you. The less things we can put in our body, I mean, the better the connection is. I understand that, but he loves you right how you are, where you are right now. I guarantee you, he doesn't love you any less for you choosing to do what you got to do. He understands that. Now, someday you might get to the point where you're like, I think I want to face life without this. I don't think I need it. That's your choice. That's your decision. That God's still going to love you regardless. Period.
Yep.
Don't ever change for any other person. Just yourself. Everybody else is just trying to catch up to whatever image somebody else puts on them. So I digress all that. you're cool with me, brother, and you're invited into this group and in my recovery anytime. I got all the respect in the world for you. Let's hear who Matthew Thomas was as a kid. You mind starting us there in childhood? Bring us up to date.
All right. So I grew up in Edders. Edders is like a small town. It's kind of country suburbs. It's like townhouses. They have a public pool, a basketball court, stuff like that. So there was like a lot of kids just running around, you know. So I mean, in I grew up with my mom till I was 3, and she got with a guy, you know, for like a year or two. And then, okay, so my first traumatic experience was when I was about 3 years old. I was in the car with my mom, and she was taking me somewhere, like a museum or something, and we were in Harrisburg in PA, and we pulled up to the ATM, and I looked in the mirror of the car, and I saw 2 people coming up behind the car with masks on. So, you know, that's what I saw. So I looked over to my mom, and I was like, "Mommy," you know what I mean? And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Who's those 2 guys?" And she, like, my mom started freaking out, right? And she like froze, but she's like freak, like, so they come up to the window and they put the gun through the window to my head, and they robbed my mom. So I remember walking across the street with my mom, right at, because they took off running after that, and they took my mom's car keys, so we couldn't leave. So I remember walking across the street, talking, like telling my mom. My mom was crying, and I was like, "Mommy, it's okay. Like, they're gone. It's okay." You know? So like, I think that might have, you know, I think that played a big part, in the seeing life as a threat. Not too long after that situation happened, my dad wasn't in my life, really. So a little bit after that happened, my dad I remember I was actually I was like 2 when this happened, so it was before that. I remember my mom was holding me, and this was before we even lived in Edders, and she had this little apartment, and I remember she was holding me, and she was like freaking out, and I heard somebody running up the stairs. I still remember hearing somebody running up the stairs outside up to the apartment door, and all of a sudden the door like kicks open, and she dropped me. So I crawled over to the wall, and I'm like sitting up against the wall, and I'm like curled up in a ball, but I'm like freaking out. So and this is important because, you know, like talking to my counselors, they think that was the moment where like my brain triggered into like my PTSD and stuff triggered, because my dad sexually assaulted my mom in front of me. So while I was sitting on the floor banging my head. So
You're good. You're good, brother.
yeah.
We got you. We got you.
Yeah, I'm good. So when I was 6, when I was 6, my mom got with this guy. I'm sorry, and he was an alcoholic, and there was a bar up the street that he would always go to, and like this was within a couple months of them being together. I remember he came home from the bar. It was like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. And I remember him throwing stuff all over the house, trashing the house, yelling at my mom. So he threw a vacuum cleaner across the room, and it almost hit my mom. So I ran across the room, and I like pushed him. So he threw me back into this table, and like to where my back went, like over the table. And I ran upstairs, and I called the cops. And he went to jail for the night, and then my mom bailed him out the next night. So then he came back. So like basically, I mean, from the time I was 6 until 15, I pretty much like lived life like I was on eggshells. Like if I came out of my room, I remember one time I came out, I would have to sneak upstairs in the middle of the night to get like a snack or something, because he would always be drunk at night because he worked during the day, and then he would drink all night. He would drink like a half a case of beer a night. So if like my room was downstairs, he was always downstairs. My mom was always upstairs. My room was downstairs, right by where he would sit. He would sit there and watch wrestling all night, drink his beer, and like I would come out, and if he would go to the garage, I would come out and I would sneak upstairs to get a snack, right? And one time it was really dark, and I remember reaching up into the cabinet, and all of a sudden I get punched in the back of my head, and I'm like, what the, and I'm like, and then it's him. He starts yelling at me, go to your fucking room, you know? So like I dealt with that, a lot of that stuff, you know, growing up. So it caused me like a lot of, I never fit in school. I never fit in anywhere, you know, like I never felt like I fit in anywhere. I always felt like I was on eggshells, you know.
Matt,
That's what,
bro, I mean, you're telling a story like that a lot of people in here listening, myself included, have not only heard before but have lived in very similar fashion. You know what I mean? So just know that you're surrounded by people that support you and encourage you because they've lived that, they've experienced that kind of stuff. Because of that though, did that get you to start acting out like for attention, or
yeah, so
as you got a little older?
oh man, so yeah, I'll just scratch out all the stuff between 6 and that and 15. So when I'm 15, my mom and her ex-husband got divorced, and she had met somebody else that she's with now. He's a good guy. I have a lot of respect for him. Me and him are a lot different, so you know we don't really see eye to eye completely, but he is a good guy, and we don't have problems. You know what I mean? But so when I was 15, when they got I was 15, all that stuff started going on, and you know, I started getting in fights in school. I got expelled off the bus. I got expelled from my school. I started stealing cars for fun, just for fun, like literally just to escape. It was like my drug. Just being bad was my drug. So, you know,
Well,
I fight, steal, get high, whatever I could do just to not feel. So when I'm 15, I run away, and I stayed with some random girl I met in York City, and I was 15. She was like 26. She let me stay with her for a week. I ended up on the missing child on the news. That was fun to me. Like, you know, like that was legitimately fun to me. Like
you probably thought you were famous for a second.
Like, dude, that was really fun to me. Like, getting in trouble was my fun, because I didn't know what else. I didn't know what else to do.
It's understandable.
So I'm 15. They send me off to placement. I end up in placement from 15 to 18. While I was coming home on placement on like weekends and stuff from placement, we were going out stealing cars. So they ended up sentencing me. We got caught for the cars, and they put me in boot camp when I was like 17. So they put me in boot camp till I was 18, and then they let me off. I went home. So now like my relationships start coming into the picture. I start getting into relationships. I never had really a childhood, so now I'm just starting to get into like relationships and stuff. And they're obviously like abusive, and I'm just wild. Like I don't care. I didn't care. So I was home for 10 months. I started selling weed around that time when I came home. from placement or from boot camp. I started selling weed a little bit. And I mean, just trying to just hang out with people. I couldn't sit still. I literally could not sit still for more than 3 minutes without leaving to have to go do something, or I would act out, because that was always my biggest problem, is my perception was so off. I couldn't sit with myself. I couldn't process anything. I didn't know how to just sit there and process stuff, so 18, I was home for 10 months and I got in a fight and I got an aggravated assault, and I ended up going upstate for 3 years, and I did upstate boot camp. And when I came home from upstate, that's when I really got into to selling and stuff like that, because I never had any like skills or talents, or like, I learned from jail how to do poetry. I learned in placement how to fight, and how to fight to deal with my anger. Like fighting the other kids all the time in placement, fighting the staff, getting restrained all the time. Like, my life was so much chaos.
You wasn't a fan of authority for sure, though, huh?
Not at all. No.
I mean, and so right quick, just kind of recapping, I want you to pick up right where you're at. But I mean, self-discipline wasn't really there. Like, I mean, you were getting in trouble for, sneaking a snack and all that. So it's like, the older you got now, when you needed to get into the workforce and have relationships, I mean, what you saw and what you absorbed as a kid and as a young teenager, that was going to be detrimental in all those areas. I mean, it wasn't like you were going to become a model citizen all of a sudden when you never got to see any examples of it. So you were just you were kind of running from feelings and emotions. Is why you couldn't sit still, because it was too much like, real emotions and real feelings are coming in, and thoughts of, years ago. And that makes you just want to get out of your skin, just, take off. But I'm not hearing that you had like any kind of like sense or a heart to like hurt people, to really, wreck somebody. I don't think you wanted to pass on some abuse that you saw, whether to your mother or you. You just kind of wanted to escape from that.
I never liked who I was. To be honest, I never liked who I was until about like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I started liking myself. Like, I feel peace. I feel almost whole. Like, I just feel I can sit still.
What happened?
Sit here all day and watch a movie if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, I process things differently.
Well, what happened a couple of years ago that kind of started developing that for you?
Okay, so I basically partied. I got into coke, and after I came home from upstate, I got into coke. I came home when I was 23. So I got into coke, and I started selling weed, and that kind of just went, that became the only way I thought that I could survive, because I never survived before. That was the only time I ever took care of myself. Like, that was the only time I ever took care of myself, was when I sold drugs, and I didn't take care of myself. I just had a place to live and a car to drive around in, and shitty relationships, and my family didn't trust me. Like, yeah. I mean, so about, I think it was like 3 years ago, I ended up in that room. Where I had this like job. I worked like for a little bit, and I was doing the perks, but I was hiding it, and they ended up drug testing me and caught me, and I was making $23 an hour there, and for me, that's a lot. Like, at the time, you know, like,
Sure.
so I'm making $23 an hour and I can't stop doing the perks to save my job. So that's how I lost my job, lost my, you know, everything just went. So 3 years ago, I went to rehab and they had a piano in the rehab. And I was always into poetry because of being in jail and placement. That's kind of what we did, you know, like, where was I at? Oh, so yeah, they had a piano and I ended up, I would put like an auto beat on the keyboard on the piano and I would like write to it. And so then I was like, nah, I started like really liking it. And I was like, no, I'm sneaking this up to my room. So I snuck the whole piano and I put it up in my room.
That's
And
a
like,
violation. Could have got kicked out for that, but it was worth the risk.
yeah. So it was the only way I found that I could sit there.
Yeah.
Sit still.
How naturally did it come to you? I mean, you're messing around, you're in this place, and I mean, how much like joy and doors open for you? Like,
I was scared shitless because I'm sorry to use that word.
That's okay.
I couldn't even listen. I couldn't even. I remember there was like a girl in there that I was friends with that I knew from like the street or whatever. And I like wrote something and I knew her. She was my friend. And I was so scared to like rap these lyrics to her in rehab. Like that's how scared I was. And socially, my social anxiety was so bad, and it still is, to be honest. So I had that piano up in the room and I sat there for a couple days and writing and crying and writing and crying, and I started realizing how much stuff really like bothered me. And you know, like they came in one day and caught me with the piano. And they were like, and I told them what I was doing, and they were like, well, you shouldn't really be doing that without somebody like to be there to walk you through when you get worked up. And they were like, so there's a counselor outside the room. We'll let you keep the piano because we know it's helping you.
wow.
And if you get worked up, you need to go and talk to her. So that's what I did. And I really started working through the stuff, you know, like I really started seeing stuff. And I don't know, man, I feel like things happen so slowly that you don't realize the change that you're making. But I look now and I look back then, and like I said already, like it's a miracle. It is a miracle. I remember being in I'm sorry to war story, but I remember I was on meth. And MattyIce is not because of meth. It's that's not why my name is MattyIce. But I remember I was in my apartment and I was in the bathroom and I was screaming. I was on Tina, and I remember my skin was purple. I couldn't. I stood there, right? I went into panic mode for like an hour. I thought I was gonna die. Like I thought I was gonna have a heart attack.
Wow.
Like I think these are the things that I think about when I do think about, you know, like if I get in a mood and I'm like, you know, and I just don't. I don't drink energy drinks because I know I can't handle it. I don't. I used to drink 6 to 8 Monsters every day when I was running.
Bad stuff.
Yeah, I don't. So like I keep myself away from the things that I know I can't do.
I feel you.
And you know, marijuana. I like smoking. You know, so I try to be honest and straightforward, and some people don't like it. I've had people come at me. I know a lot of other people had people, you know, and I mean I get it from one side and I get it from the other side. So I guess it's like a personal preference. You know, we all have come from different places. Some of
It's a
us have
good way
grief
of
and
putting it.
loss, and some of us have, you know, physical abuse or whatever.
I think that's a good way of putting it, Matt, right quick, because I mean, it is personal. It's personal preference. And, you know, like I said, I compare it to a lot of things like, man, I mean, we have dinner here every night and, you know, you eat 7 nights a week, but I'm like, if you like a couple meals that I think are not that healthy or taste like, you know, crap, I'm not going to judge you for that or tell you that you're, you know, gonna get diabetes tomorrow or whatever. It's just you just gotta keep doing what you think is working for you. And I don't think I just can't see, and you said something a minute ago too that I wanted to touch on. I can't see you like being Cali sober and indulging in marijuana. You use it for, you know, reasons that you feel are real and justified, and I respect that. I don't see how that would in turn get you back to like wanting to be on something that had you crawling along the sidewalk, puking your guts out. I don't see how that would be a bridge
Yeah,
backwards. You
exactly.
just said yourself, and that's something for me too. Is like there's this thing in sobriety called euphoric remembering. That's when like the mind can trick you and thinking that like, oh, that was a good night, that was a good party, I was really stuff,
Yeah.
and you just kind of forget the rock bottom and being broke and your car getting repossessed, and you forget all that stuff. That's not the reality of it. Um, I mean, there's nothing to go back to. You're not going to suddenly get more creative going back in your past. And your past really only exists in other people's opinions of you now, of them not liking exactly where they're at. So they want you to feel a certain way so they can feel better about themselves. That's really all that is. If you're good, then just stay that way until
So,
eventually you might be convicted to move on from that. I mean, that's just how it works.
so since this is God-based recovery, I want to talk about my like the God side of what I
Please
went
do.
through with that, my experience. Um, because I feel like a lot of this episode has a lot to do with judgment. I just kind of want to like give my experience of how I felt. So I one of my friends started taking me to church with her and her husband. And they were really cool. They were really nice, like really nice. And I went out, you know, and I went for probably a couple months, and I was really into it. I was really into it. I was, you know, like I'm not gonna say I was reading the Bible because I have trouble reading, but I will go on Google and read. So I was going on Google like reading stuff like look, I was into it, you know, like I wanted to learn. And um so I started going to church. So the first day that I was supposed to go to church with them, they something happened and they couldn't go. So I ended up going the next week with them. So when I walk in the church on the way to the church, I was talking to them about like believing and this and that and blah blah. And we get there to the church and we sit down and they put up on the big screen, right? This is my first time in church. They put up on the big screen uh, uh, a big thing like of money. It was money, and then it said Matthew. It was the book of Matthew, and the topic, you're not gonna believe it. The topic was on it was on fame, money, and doing things for the right reason. I swear on everything. Bro, he was talking to me. Like it was insane. And like that's when it really hit me. Like there's so much more to this. And you know, so I started going and you know, I ended up getting baptized. Um I think a part of it was I'm not I guess I'm not fully ready to change everything that is expected of you in the Bible. And I felt that they had very good intentions for me, but I wasn't ready fully yet, I don't think, to be honest, because I started like feeling like they were pushing too much. Like when I would like be with them, if I would put like a song on that wasn't Christian music, you know, they would be like, you shouldn't be listening to that. And it would go into like a whole speech.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was just in the beginning phase of getting like really invested in this.
Excited about it. Yeah.
Yes, I was passionate about it, and it started frustrating me. This is just the truth. It started frustrating me so bad that I couldn't be myself. Like I felt like I was faking myself, trying to fit in where I didn't belong, because everywhere I looked, I was getting judged. I felt that I was getting judged by people, but I know they were trying to help. But that's how my brain took it. It overwhelmed me to the point where I was like, I need to back off. Like, you know, so that was kind of my experience, you know, and so I kind of stopped, like I stopped going. And, you know, over the past, you know, I go to counseling every week because I can always be better. I go to counseling every week. I have a counselor. You know, I do this stuff, whatever. You know, I reach out when I feel. That's my biggest thing is, and I reached out to you last week when I was going through it about a situation, and that's what I do. I call people. That's my first thing. If I get angry, I call people. If I start crying, I call somebody, because I can't be alone. Like I don't want to be alone, you know? So
Yeah, we had a good conversation. I commiserated with you for a minute, but then we ended up having a few laughs and was like, yeah. You know, it wasn't as big as it felt like at the time, but I can relate. So, you know, I've been there.
But that's what I'm working on right now is like kind of, you know, because I have been having people target me for false, and they are, I mean, it's valid, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's valid to them, but it's not valid to me. And it's valid to this person, but it's not that, you know, so there's always different outlooks on everything. And it's like, I wish that everybody could just come together and, you know, if you see a recovery post on Facebook, like it, because they're doing something positive. They're sharing, you know what I mean? Like if you know, so I think, yeah.
I completely agree with you on that. I mean, because for me, in that sense, it's not about anybody that runs the recovery groups. It's not about the admin of the group. It's about the group, the people that's in the group, because that's what it has to be for. I just, what I'd like to see more of, and I'm probably not perfect with this, but you know, when things get promised or told to people, that there's follow through with it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are putting a lot of stock, and this is kind of a fault to some people. You can't put all your eggs in one basket or one group or this and that. You got to have multiple avenues, especially if you don't have this relationship with God. You know, if your higher power is the table at the meeting.
Listen, I agree with you 100%.
You know,
just because I'm not going to church every week and this and that, like I know God is there.
Yeah,
I know God is there, and
he has to be. Every time I hear people's stories, I'm always seeing the God moment, and a lot of them also see it too. But I mean,
dude, they found they think they found the ark, right?
Yeah, it might be there. I'm not there in person,
but yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it kind of fits historically. I mean, there's more scientific proof and historical facts and stuff like that to prove God's existence and Jesus was on this earth. But I'll say that for another time. I mean, the way he's turned my life around for the last 2.5 years is absolute proof for me, and he saved me from my butt twice in 2 decades. And that's
it took me, you know, I went through all the steps. I did all the step work. I still have my step workbook. I have all my deepest, darkest secrets in it. Like I opened all that stuff up. What was I saying? What was I gonna say? I forget what I was gonna say.
See, it's all that weed.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're right.
We just laugh. Just playing with you, bud. I mean, dude, my memory is horrible.
No, but
Don't even get me started.
bro,
But you were.
I mean, listen, dude, I'm focused, man. I'm focused. I'm focused on. So right now we're working on finding a house, and once we get situated, then I'm finding a church. We've been talking about it for 2 weeks. We're gonna find a church, but I don't want to get invested in somewhere for like 2 months and then have to not. I don't really know where I'm gonna yet. So yeah. When the time is right, it will happen.
See, that's why I mean I don't want to make it into like a conversation, but there's so many things. I hope you have more conversations after we do this, because the thing that I hear you saying is, and that's great, you know, having a home church is important. But the thing about that is you can take Christ with you in your relationship with God wherever you go, brother. We are the church. Where there's two or more gathered, that's church. Like if you and a buddy and your girl were just sitting around at your house and you're talking about the Bible and the gospel and God, that's essentially church. Church ain't no building. It's the people. It's where the body of Christ. And I mean, all that will come. And I'm not sharing nothing with you that ain't the truth. That's not opinion. That's Bible based. And it took me a while.
They say the Bible's the only way.
Dude,
the Bible's the only way to truly know God.
It is. It's a living word. Have you ever heard anybody say, keep your eyes on Jesus? Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
That literally means the Bible, the scripture, especially the red letters. That's keeping your eyes on Christ. And there's so many stories that you'll be able to read in there that matter to you right then at the time, whatever situation you're going through. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to wait till you move somewhere to get another church. God will lead you to that right church. He knows exactly what you need. But let me digress. Let me ask these couple questions are important, because you started. Let me go back to the room when they caught you with the piano. They let you have it. What was some stuff that you were working on? Did you ever spit that rap to the girl? And if you did, what did she think? And then how did all that lead into what you're doing today?
Huh. Oh man. So I was, yeah, I mean, it took me, your toes are purple. So I did the piano thing. I was in rehab. Like I did my month. And then I came out. I honestly, man, I when I got out of rehab, I got on Google. I didn't even really know anybody that raps. You know what I mean? So I went on Google and I found out like what type of program I needed, and you know, I figured it out and I got it, and I got the equipment that I figured out I needed, and you know, I just figured out my way, and passion is what drove me the whole way. Like if it wasn't for passion, I would have never. I just was so passionate. Like it was like my saving grace. So I mean, I got out of rehab. I started making stuff that I thought was good, and just it was, you know, when I was in rehab, I wrote the song called Overdose. I wrote that one in rehab, and then I recorded that one like way later down the road. I held on to it for like a year or two, and then
I listened to it. I listened to all those songs.
Yeah, dude, I actually wrote Overdose in rehab, and yeah, so when I came out, I remember like my first show that I ever did, like It was my time to go up on stage, and it was like a packed like club, right? But thank God, like people had left right before I went up. So there was only like 10 people. There was probably only like 20 people in the club now. So like I go up and I was so nervous. Like I didn't even rap. I just like I stood there. I was so scared. Like
Wow.
so
Stage
yeah,
fright.
dude, it literally took like past so much because I have PTSD, anxiety, like so I'm real hyper vigilant and stuff, you know, and not so much anymore, but like that is the type of person I am, you know. So it took a lot of times of just getting up and just facing the fears that I had of being in front of people. And you know, the first time I ever went on one of these, like I was so nervous, like I was stuttering, couldn't talk, my voice shaking, I'm sweating, like you know. So I mean, I tell my girlfriend this, like the best way to deal with anxiety and social anxiety is to just confront it,
Yeah.
because the more that I confront stuff, the easier it gets. And now I'm at a point where, you know, like I can go do shows and stuff, you know. So like, and I don't I it's not like that. Like, you know, I have a sober fest coming up. I did last year. It's in Halifax. It's called Soberfest. So yeah, that'll be in July. uh that's July 18th.
Yeah, I think they stream that live, I think.
No, well, that I have another one that's called Rise Up for Peace, and I'm doing that one now. That one is broadcasted globally.
Yeah, okay, that's the one.
So yeah, so that's a really cool event. I'm grateful to be, you know, and I
That's
so
gonna be your
sometimes what
that's gonna be your best show to date, brother, when you hit that stage for that one. The Rise Up for Peace.
I did it last year and it went
Well,
really good.
I'm sure, and I'm glad this year you're gonna feel like you did it as well as you could. And I feel
Dude,
like
so
you're gonna continue getting better and better.
yeah, I mean, so I have been blessed um to where I'm able to do this stuff full time. And you know, so when I'm called, one thing I do is when I'm called for something that is positive, I told God that if he blessed me the way that he did, that I will put full time into what I am doing, and I will support people, and I will do the right thing
Yeah.
to the best of my ability. And if I don't, I prayed to him, and I said, if I don't, take it all from me. If I don't do my best, take it all from me, because you know, like blessings come, you know. And yeah, I'm grateful. Like I'm grateful for my girlfriend. I'm grateful for her family. Like I'm grateful for you.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for you. You know, because people don't know people, and I think people's stories need to be heard. You know, and I might not fit the mold of everybody in this group, you know, because of, you know, I'm Cali sober, or, you know, I don't go to church every week, or, you know, I'm not fully invested in the God thing at this moment, you know, but we're all people and we all have a story. And I'm proud of everybody that has risen above where they started at,
Yep.
because I know, like I know what it feels like. Like it sucks, man. Like that feeling of being alone in a room for a week by yourself, hopeless. Like if I die, I die, but I'm scared to die. and I don't want to, but I can't stop. Like that feeling is enough for me to not go back.
Yeah, bro. Let me say this, man, and I think in your heart you know this. In that room by yourself for that amount of time, it may not have felt like it at the time, going through what you went through, but Christ was there with you in that room, and you were making the choices and the decisions to do what you wanted to do. That's free will, but it seems to me that He's got you and kept you alive for a big purpose. And yeah, you'll benefit from it. You're going to get blessings, but from God's perspective, He wants to use you to reach so many other people. And do you know what I mean? It's not even really about you anymore, or how much faith you have, or how often you go to church, this and that and the other. God knows that no matter what, that you're giving Him a ton of credit for having you here today, for giving you the talent to write, for that piano to be where it was that day, and to have everything you have right now. And you put the work in. I'm not saying you haven't, but when you said yourself and when there's a positive thing to do, you show up for it.
That's what, I was saying. I did the 12 steps. I worked through all the 12 steps, and I can honestly say, like, I don't work in an NA program. I'm Cali sober and stuff, so but I did work the 12 steps, and I can honestly say that truly saved my life, as much as music did, if not more.
And I don't know if anybody ever told you this, but those 12 steps are all based on the Beatitudes from the Bible. They're all biblical principles, man. And so, I mean, you've been moving closer to God, I think, without even realizing it sometimes. And with the discernment that God's blessed me with, I knew that you were somebody that I wanted to talk to and wanted to, to get to know better. And I'll support you every step of the way. Only thing that I ask anybody that comes into my inner circle, or that God brings into my world, is just be truthful in everything you do, with every conversation with me. That's all I ask, because that's all you're going to get from me. Some people don't like that, Matt, but that's okay. God will use anybody for whatever reason. All you got to do is just stay true to yourself, and just know that, man, there's something bigger going on, and it ain't just me. Because, if you would have had it your way, we probably wouldn't even be talking right now. But God's using you in a mighty way. And I'm not saying you're the next Christian hip hop artist or anything like that. Yeah. You just be who God's got you being today. Just worry about that.
I feel like people have, I feel like people in the recovery community have, I think, like, my music, I don't promote drugs. I'm Cali sober, so that's a part of my music. But I think people don't look at it like, this is saving my life.
Yeah.
They look at it like, this is not promoting the message that I want. So I can understand that, for me, I'm just doing this to save my life. I'm literally doing this to save my life. Like, you see, this is my room. Like, I got all my studio stuff. Like, this is my studio room. Like, this is my zen, like, this is where when I'm going through it, I come in here, if I'm in a fun vibe mood, I'll rap about, whatever, I don't know. But I will not put stuff that will lead somebody down to doing drugs or stuff like that. It's my venting tool. It's my venting tool, it's my life story into music.
That's what I was getting at. If people really wanted to listen and understand, they would hear that, anytime you're talking about drugs or drug use or whatever, it's in the past tense, because that's where you was. You have to rap about real content, and that's where you were all those years ago. You're not glorifying it. you're basically saying, thank God for this ability and this gift that I have today to get all this stuff out. Because if not, I might have fallen back into all that stuff. It would have just kept eating me alive. So you're using rap and poetry and music as a platform and a tool to get all this junk out. Because guess what? There's tons of people out there that don't have that ability, that don't want to talk, that are shy as heck, and it's killing them. You're giving them a way to get that stuff out as well.
And they're in a room right now.
Yes, they are.
For the past week, waiting to go to rehab in a hotel room, calling around, begging people for money. Like, that's where we can end up back at. And I've been there multiple times. You know, so.
I mean, I don't see you going back to none of that, man. I mean, that's your choice, but you know what's back there, bro. You know, and jails, institutions, or death. That's an absolute promise.
Bro, listen, I spent 15 to 23 in placement in jail. Prison. You know, I have been out of prison. I have not been to prison for 13 years. Or wait, 12 or 13 years. I haven't been to prison. Obviously, I've been to rehab, so I wasn't doing the best. But you know what I mean? I mean, that's something, you know, that's something. So,
man, I just think it's a really good story, man. And I'm glad you're around, and I'm glad God put you in my life to meet you. I obviously don't have any fears or hesitations talking with anybody. I will talk to anybody because everyone has a story. I mean, personally, I have my relationship with Christ. I'm good, right? Saved by grace. But the thing is, since God can take everything bad and turn it to good, then everybody has a story that can benefit somebody else. I'll sit and talk to a Satanist, an atheist.
You know,
I'll sit and talk to Josh Robbins again, who hates this and thinks he's the king of recovery, and he always has an opinion. And if you smoke a little weed, you're not totally recovered. If you're on Suboxone, you're not totally recovered. I mean, I pray for people like that, but that's the ones that are going to stay where they're at, while other people just keep leveling up on this path with Christ, because it's about discovery, not necessarily recovery. But I'll say that for another time. You're just doing what you're supposed to be doing right now. All that crap those years ago from 15 to 23 was preparation for what you're doing today, Matt. There's no shame. There's no guilt in it. You don't got to resent nothing. It was preparation and content to be using now, not just for yourself, but for so many other people. That's the beautifulness of it, bro.
I have been thinking about it, and I do want to clean up, so I'm getting like new equipment. I'm getting new equipment here soon, like professional quality equipment, because I want to professionalize my stuff more. I want to tighten up, because I curse in some of my music, because I feel that, if I'm in a mood where I'm so mad and I'm sitting here venting, writing it out, and I'm really trying to express what I'm saying, and then I'm in the microphone and I'm like, oh, and it's like it comes out,
Sure.
and I try not to, but I already minimize that, but I want to professionalize what I'm doing and just tighten it up, better quality content, keep my message as clean as possible, so that's kind of, this is my passion, this is what I love to do. So,
and I don't need to really ask how old you are, but I know you're way younger than I am, probably mid-30s.
35. You are
35. So, right? I mean, you got years to go with this. And let me tell you that God knows exactly what you want. He knows how to use you. He knows you're going to be obedient to your passion, to your gifts and skills. So I think he'll provide. I believe he'll provide all that for you. And as you get a little bit older and stuff, you're going to really fine tune a lot of this music, and it's just going to get better and better. And on this new 6-song EP, I listened to it all. My favorite track, to be honest with you, is "I'm a Lion." I think that's something amazing. I love the sound of it too, but I get how, like you were saying, more professional mode and stuff like that. But it is so good for whatever you're using right now. And Stormy Weather is really good too. So I just wanted to plug those two songs. But "I'm a Lion" is really decent. I love what you're talking about. I love the lyrics in there. It's real. That's the only, I can listen to any music as long as somebody's talking about real stuff. Just give me some real content.
The one song I wanted to put a relationship song in there, and I put in there, about my girl, like if we're in the car and we're having a little bicker session or something, and I'm like, I just don't want to hear it right now. So I'm like staring out the window, like, yeah, all right, I just don't want to deal with it. So like I put that in my song, like
it's real, right?
Like
man, listen,
but
what else did I say? I had other things to ask you, but I forgot.
I would say running from hell would be I would say running from hell would be a good one for people on here to listen to.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I've shared your channel and I've shared that EP. I know I've heard that. I'm going to listen to it again now that you said that.
Yeah, dude, my girlfriend's we've been going hiking and stuff, like we've been going hiking, and we're not going hiking anymore because we watched this movie on Netflix.
Apex.
Apex. I will never go on a mountain again.
I'm watching it tonight.
What?
I'll watch all the new movies that come out on Netflix, and people are like, boo Netflix, they put out stupid stuff. I'm like, there's some good stuff on there too. You got to know what to look for. But I heard about that one, and I think you posted about that the other day. I'm like, all right, now I got to see, because I don't go hiking, so I'm safe.
Dude, we've been going hiking. We're going fishing tomorrow. We're gonna go down to we're the members at the gun club, so we're gonna go down there and fish tomorrow morning when we get up. We're gonna take a blanket out there and take a little basket of snacks and go sit out there and fish. Me and my girl.
That's good stuff.
Like it's just like that. The little moments like that are like seriously like beautiful.
Well, I mean, you're living life, and I mean that's a form of worship, if I can say that. The way that you live your life and enjoy moments like that and stuff, that's a form of worship. God wants to see you enjoying your life and loving others and enjoying what He's surrounded us with. I think you're on a really good path. I really do, and I'd like to do some more stuff like that, man. It's kind of inspiring to me.
I do want to say this because, the other day, I'm just going to say this. The other day I posted about something that I was really upset about, because in the moment when I saw what I saw, it made me so mad that somebody could lie so blatantly, someone that's in recovery. Basically they had hit me up to do some like music work with me, and everything was cool. They were trying to sell me features and stuff of other artists, right? And they seemed all cool, right? But I was iffy because I'm careful with people. And one of my buddies was in a group chat and sent me a screenshot of this person telling every single artist in that group message that I am a fake account, that I'm a fake rapper, that my account is all fake, that my music's all fake. So that really upset me, man. And, like in the moment, I'm like, I didn't know how to deal with it. And, so I vented on Facebook, which is something I try not to do. But, it's how can you be in recovery and really try to scam somebody like that? But you're like, this guy, I think he came into the recovery community to show love, so that I don't know, but
we don't know, but
when people will, the devil will tempt you. And this past week, I was sick. I got sick for a day or two, and it's been a rough week, and I had to deal with that situation, this other situation, and so things happen, and I'm imperfect, and so I mean, yeah, we all make mistakes, man. And
I mean, yeah, you made it through though, and now you're doing this and sharing that. Listen, man, we can't ever know somebody else's true intentions in their heart. They can be just as deceptive and manipulative as they were in their former life, in their addiction. Well, sometimes you clean up, you don't do drugs and alcohol anymore, but that addiction is going to shift and transfer into something else. It doesn't just go away. It's oppression from the devil above all. It's a disease, but it's an oppression from the devil because it's a disconnection of the spirit from you and God. It's a spirit. It's a spiritual malady. It's a diseasement. So we don't know everybody. So there's people that just want to cash in on people. They're going to look the part and be like, "Oh, Matt, you sound good. I'm going to hook you up with some of the artists, man. I love your stuff.
Yep.
I can do it right now to you."
Bro,
because I know them. I was one of them. But this walk required me to be completely the opposite. But they're out there. There's snakes everywhere, man. And that discernment comes with that, like gut feeling.
Yep.
And I mean, all you can do at the end of the day is be like, thank God I'm not in it like that person. I mean, your EP came out and you're going to be just fine.
And it's crazy. Never mind. It doesn't matter. I don't want that to be on this.
Okay.
We're good.
All right.
I just, I mean, stuff hurts, man. And
I get it.
Stuff hurts, man. And you spend your life dealing with something a certain way. The old me would probably be blowing this dude up like, yo, I will drive to you. I don't care if you're 3 hours away. I will drive to you.
Yeah, well,
that's how stupid I was.
I get it. And
instead of doing that, I'll be honest. I came in here and I did a diss track, and I released the diss track.
There you go.
I had to vent because it was in my mind for, it was bothering me that day. And I was like, you know what? I have to do that. I have to just do this because I have to get it out. And I have to tell the truth, because if I don't tell the truth, he's going to get somebody else. Yeah,
that's exactly how to look at that. Exactly. And I think, I mean, we were talking about it a little bit. I'm like, man, you got a song here. Just use this and put it into a song, or, get that out. This is your outlet. As long as you have an outlet, people really can't do you dirty because you're not stuck anywhere. You could be like, oh, what? You're going to hate on me for something or lie? Well, I'm just standing on truth. So thanks for giving me another track. And I mean, that's what you should do, because it's your therapy. Above music and art and rap, it's your therapy. That's what keeps you grounded. It's what keeps you sane. And I mean, you just keep doing that.
I think passion and addiction, right? I was thinking about this earlier today. How can you tell passion between the difference between passion and addiction?
That's a great question for everybody in the comments. I want to hear their answers on that. Say it again.
Well, the answer I came up with was when your life becomes unmanageable. That's when it becomes an addiction. I mean, I feel like passion is addictive. So if you're passionate about something, so my point is, like, if you can be passionate about drugs and this and that heals you from all that trauma inside, then why can't you, instead of doing that negative thing, why can't you find another passion that, like music?
Yeah.
That takes the place of that, but it's not unhealthy, it's healthy.
I hope my wife's still listening to this, because she said something like this a few years ago that was still one of the most profound things, but so simple, I've ever heard. She says, imagine all that, I'm paraphrasing, that addictive energy used in healthy ways. And it blew my mind, because we get committed. We get loyal to the streets, to the gang life, to the drugs, the alcohol, 24/7. You don't take no days off. You know what I mean? There ain't no holidays. So, and here's the cool thing, because this is when I'm like, I got to get out of recovery. I got to see what God's really doing with me. I got to figure things out. He'll take all that energy, all the bad stuff you did, all the commitment, and it just turn it upside down into a healthy form. So you got a lot of the same passions, energy. You know how hard you went selling the weed and the perps and
Yeah.
That's all there, but he's like, here, try this healthy alternative. That's not only going to help you, but help so many other people. It's a selfless turning. That's all that is. I was never doing this. I've been doing this just 2 years. This is something he's put on my heart to do.
I spend money to do this stuff. Like
I
I
get it.
spend
You're
money to
invested.
do this stuff. I don't make money for shows. I'm not, I do this to survive. Like I do this to live. I'm doing this to spread a message.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to use addiction to escape yourself. You can find something positive.
It's true. And I mean, and at the end of the day, my answer to that question is, yeah, addiction, people get into that to like numb out, to escape, to fit in sometimes. And it just masks and numbs us up. It's not healing us from anything. But when God comes in the picture, higher power, whatever it is, 12 steps, CR, and you start to be able to take accountability for some of your stuff and unravel that, it starts to get healed in ways you could never imagine. And it's scary, but you're not leaning on your own efforts and your own understanding. So the thing about, the addiction and passion thing is when you start to make something idealistic, like there's a lot of people that will get into recovery and make their sobriety like their number one thing. They say you got to put sobriety above everything. So you start chasing it like you did your drugs and alcohol.
Yes.
Man, you get tired, bro. That's why has to be a walk in discovery. And here's the key. I just want to let everybody know this and tell me if this makes sense to you or not. We talk about triggers all the time. If somebody triggered me, I saw some movie that reminded me of something in the past, yada, yada, yada. Somebody said something. Here's how you know you're slipping. If you start dodging accountability in your everyday life, that is addict behavior. You're going backwards. I mean, guess what? You got a bill in the mail. Capital One wants their money. You're like, stir, right in the trash. Don't tell the girlfriend about it. That's addict behavior. You're slipping. You're going backwards. You say, hey, I'm going to be there Sunday. And you just don't answer the phone. You don't go. That's addict behavior. That is the key way to know that you're slipping and you need a meeting. You need to call somebody, hit your knees, something. When you start dodging accountability in your sobriety, you're going backwards.
When you
That's
stop calling
all
people,
you have to know. What's up?
Yeah. When you stop reaching out, when you stop. Yeah,
that's it. Because then you'll start feeling like, like people's going to know. Oh, I didn't go to this. I said I'd be there, or da 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 da. And you start shutting down. You start isolating. You don't text back. You don't go out as much, and then it's noticeable. But then by the time you know it, you're like, well, I ain't had a drink for like 2 years. I probably could just go out and get like a 6-pack or something, or do, and you're gone. You're off and running. It happens. That's the way it truly happens. And I wish people would really truly understand that. Like, I can't trigger you into going back to use. How am I gonna do that? Come in your house and force you? I could talk about whatever, but if you're good in your sobriety and in your faith and in your recovery and what you're doing in life, I can't trigger you into going backwards. If I can that easily, then your sobriety probably wasn't there to begin with.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? And that's a good way to test it sometimes. We need that. I want somebody to test, me now and then, because I want to see how far I'm removed from my past, because it's dark, Matt. It was bad. I'm not going to go walk myself into a trap house anytime soon or to the local bar. I don't need to do that. But sometimes people will try to test you. And it's laughable sometimes, but you shouldn't take it as a personal attack. If somebody comes at you and like, oh man, you're going to be hitting perks and doing this by the end of the week, you might be like, nah, I'm good. That's sad that they think that. It's sad that they say that. That must be where they're at, where they're headed. Man, God, I pray for them, move in their life. I'm good, Lord. We know that. Why would that person want to come at me like that? Because they're at a place where they're not feeling good about themselves. And all they can do is try to tear somebody else down. As long as you don't do that, bro, life's good. Life is good, and God will treat you accordingly.
Yeah.
He'll treat you accordingly how you treat his sons and daughters. That's it. And you talk about not making money with this and all that. Blah, blah, blah. If God sees fit to bring some provisions along the way, some profitable moments, that will be there too, because your music is your therapy, but it's for everyone else before you. You're just being used by God to do that, because before you were throwing yourself away.
Yeah.
I mean that. I don't say nothing I don't mean, Matt.
Something just hit me a minute ago. Oh, I just had like an awakening. Like, bro, the past week I've had 2 people try to come at me, or lies. And then now I'm here with this God-based recovery podcast. So like, it's like the past 2 weeks I've been talking to my girlfriend about going to church. We've been talking. It's like, man, it's like I feel like it's like I can't. It's just crazy. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. I just, like it's like
God knocking, brother. That's God knocking. I'm telling you. He's knocking on you. And I'm glad you said that. Lord knows it. I've saved it and saved it and saved it and saved it. Because we were both going through some stuff this week on different reasons. And we plugged this and plugged this. And I'm like, man, God, you're moving in this man's life. You're moving in his life. And just like get to Sunday. Watch what happens Sunday. So whatever you're feeling right now, you can't produce that in yourself. That's what they call the Holy Spirit working in you, brother. I'm just telling you, I ain't forcing nothing down your throat. I ain't judging it. I ain't telling you what to do. The Holy Spirit, and everybody in this comment right now knows that I'm telling the truth. The Holy Spirit's working on you, brother. Congratulations. And just keep doing what you do. But all this PTSD, this negative feeling you got, these fears, anxiety, Christ will remove all that stuff. I'm telling you, he did it for me. Now, I know there's counselors, and you go to your counselor, go to your CR, go to your 12 steps, go to your meetings, all that. But Christ is with us at all times, and he will heal and remove some of that stuff from you. And once you start feeling like, man, I don't feel like that no more. I don't have this negative anxiety, stressful fear. That's because Christ removed it, and it ran its course. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I'm not saying that's what you're feeling, but
dude, I remember when I was I was probably about 10 years old, and I was in the car with my grandma, and we were driving down the highway, and I asked her. She's religious, or I don't know how to say it. She's a Christian, a follower of Christ.
Yeah.
But she was driving, and I asked her, I was like, how do we know if God is real or not? And she was like, just believe. And I swear on everything, right at that moment, I looked up out the window, and there was a sign of a cross with Jesus on a billboard, and it said, believe. I had another situation, I think, one time kind of like that.
Wow. That's confirmation. That's what they call confirmation. Not to tell you something you didn't know, but that's confirmation when stuff like that happens. Because it's too coincidental to be anything else, right? The timing of it, who's there with you, right where you're at the right time. Did he look up? And then you see that. There's too many things.
Dude, I looked up, like I researched all about like the shroud, like how you watch the stuff about the shroud, like all that.
100%. I'll say that for another time, but yep. Oh yeah, buddy.
Like that stuff interests me,
I'm glad.
Like, I know a lot about being a follower of Christ.
It's a beautiful thing
for somebody that hasn't, but one thing that I heard in church that really helped me, that I want to say, is like God gives us a vision. Like if we're like sitting there in a room and something comes to your mind and you're like, oh, it would be cool to do woodworking and fix up furniture, and then I could start a business, and then I could do that. Like a lot of people we get these visions, like kind of like I got with my music in Rehab. I got a vision. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to rap about addiction. I knew I wanted to rap about struggle. And I knew what I wanted to do. And instead of letting that vision slip by, I chased after it. I didn't let it slip by. And I think, and the pastor was basically saying a lot of people let those visions slip by, and those visions are given to us for a reason. So if we think of a cool idea, instead of being like, oh, that's too hard, then we should be like, well, what's the first step to accomplish that? Because I can do it. So
I mean, I totally agree with that, man. And that's sometimes when you get thoughts like that, or you picture something and it kind of comes out of nowhere and it just seems like, well, that's too big, that's too much. Lean into that, because I mean, a lot of times those are visions of where God wants to take you, what He wants you to be doing. And if it also kind of fits into what you like to do, don't fear it, and don't be like, that's impossible. Well, He wouldn't have showed it to you if it was impossible. God, He makes all things possible. And if you know what your heart is in it for, and you're seeking Him, and you're like, I don't really know, but I know something's got me here bigger than me, and this is my passion and my dream, and I was given this gift. I didn't develop it out of nowhere. So it was given to you because it fits a bigger purpose than just you. But if you play it right and follow His lead and go after your dreams, put the work in, put the sacrifice in, the commitment, bro, things just keep falling into place. Doesn't mean you won't have storms and trials and accusations and scammers and fraudulent people and haters and all that other stuff. But it's neither here nor there. They ain't in my house right now. Is there anybody in your house right now who hates you, that talks smack about you? They ain't in. If they're not in your house,
I hope not.
If they're not in your house, they can't get in your head. Just remember that. Just know what everybody talks about you, and you know that's not truth. You ain't got to tell nobody. Just let the people know that it's not true. Because I've learned this lesson the hard way, and maybe even after this last week, I'll put the truth out and I move on. The more you try to defend yourself, the more you look a little bit guilty of something. Like, who are you trying to convince? You keep saying it, and that person backs off, and they're like, oh, look how many times Trav posted.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you, to other people who even love you and believe you, be like, well, maybe there's some truth to that. Look how many posts he put on.
Listen, I still got that side in me, though.
I know.
So it's like,
I do too.
It's that first reaction that's so important, man. That
I get
impulse. It's like that's that most important part when you feel your body start to get hot.
Yeah.
Like you start to shake.
Yeah.
Or, like, this is all the stuff that I've been working on, man. Like, like throughout
I'm with you on
recovery, like I feel where, like, if I start to get mad, I know that the first thing that happens is my body gets warm.
Sure.
My body starts to get warm.
I start shaking a little bit.
Yep. And then my palms get sweaty.
And
if I start to like shake, and then I know I'm going to explode. So I have to stop it before I feel my body temperature start to go up. I know if I stop it there, it's not going to get to me shaking or sweating.
Yeah.
So.
And once you get there and you start talking and stuff and get on your phone, you're going to say it and do a lot of things out of emotions that you really wouldn't keep rocking with after the fact. After you calm down a little bit and look back, you're like, man, I kind of said too much.
That probably didn't look too good, or that's probably not the way I should have handled that. And people are going to think I'm crazy now.
Right. Yeah, well, or guilty of what somebody's falsely accusing you of a little bit. And I've learned this lesson. I'm learning this lesson still. But yeah, I mean, I can share a bunch of stuff with you. But I mean, all along this path, there's been people saying stuff, alleging stuff, accusing stuff of me that just has no merit to it whatsoever. And here's the kicker. When they did have something that was really there, man, I had to look at it and be like, yeah, that's me. I did say that. I did come across that way. And I'll bite the bullet and admit to it. And I'll even have them on and be like, look, I'll make a public apology to you. I overstepped. I was over emotional. I'm trying to learn. Don't use my work in progress against me. A lot of people in recovery do that. We're all works in progress. Well, don't use it against somebody else.
Bro, I had one problem with one person in recovery, and up until this past week, one person in recovery, and I reached out, and I apologized, even though I wasn't wrong. I've reached out about a couple weeks after they got mad because I accidentally sent their girlfriend a friend request.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I lost my old Facebook, so I'm just adding more, all the recovery people back, you know, because I lost 15,000 people. And yeah, so, you know, I reached out and apologized, and, you know, I washed my hands of it. They didn't even respond. So, you
Well,
know,
that
it's all right. Well, I move on.
you did what you had to do. You're the bigger man in that instance, and that particular person doesn't deserve to be named in this live or any other lives, period, in my opinion. I wish and pray for him extremely well. And hope I'm wrong about everything. But you know, if it looks like a snake and slithers like a snake, and you know, there's photos and text and stuff, it's probably a snake. I'll just leave it at that. You're a better person for not engaging with that person anymore. I know I am. I stopped a long time ago, but you know, it is what it is, man. We still have to, at the end of the day, pray for our enemies, pray for our haters, pray for the envious, because they're in situations and on levels that we're not, and we don't know what's truly going on with somebody behind closed doors. So, like I said, if you're taking care of yourself and your immediate home, that's really your biggest job. Everything else, God will sort out in His time. That's it. But I don't wish no ill will on anybody, because I don't know what they're going through. And more importantly, I don't know what God's going to do with certain things, with certain people. So I'm just like, me and you, bud. But I will put truth out, and that's it, and move on from it. I'll do that now and then. I'm like, well, here's the truth of the story. Here's the evidence against this accusation. And I'm like, I got stuff to do. I'm going over here. My Yankees are on. I'm having a pizza later. I don't rent no space in my head like it used to. The truth stands on its own, and the truth always will prevail. Period.
Yeah, I tell people sometimes, like, you think I'm crazy now, like, you think I get hyped up now. You should have seen me when I was on stuff.
Oh yeah, but then they'll hit you with the me too. Then it's like a PISSING contest. I'm like, we wouldn't have liked each other probably back then, so we don't have to like each other now. But let's just move on from it. I know what I'm about, and I know what several people that God's brought into my life are about. And at the end of the night, man, I sleep really peacefully, and I'm grateful for everything God's given me.
You want to hear something else? I was walking down the street, right? And I found this on the ground, right? Look. It's a ring, right?
Okay.
And it has a cross. It has a cross on it, and it's the Lord's Prayer.
Wow.
And I found it in the grass when I was walking down the street.
And it fits? Wow.
Perfect.
Little knocks and nudges. I pray whoever lost that gets it replaced, though. But I think God thought you might have needed that a little bit more. And
dude, that was a long time ago. That was a while ago. That was like, what, 3 years ago I found it.
Probably even a better time to find it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was brought to your attention, for a reason. I'm glad you're rocking it. Bro, I don't know any other questions I got. What's anything you want to talk about that we haven't covered? And, I'll let you take us out and just speak on anything you think you're led to or want to. And you got a lot of support and encouragement and love in here tonight. I'll tell you that much.
Dang. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm not perfect, and I never said I was perfect. I make mistakes, and, I love everybody, and if you support me, I will support you back. I like I said, I have been blessed to be able to do all this stuff, and so I spread love. I spread love however I can, however I'm wanted, however I'm needed. I'm there. If you want me on a live, if you want me to do a show, if you want me anything, if it's recovery or a positive event or anything, I want to be there. So Yeah, just I mean, thank you for everybody. I can't see the comments, and I really want to like see.
Well, I hope you do. If you play it back or get a watch it, man. I hope you do. There's a bunch of them. Abigail Crandell says, "Thank you so much for sharing your stories, not Maddie. Big respect. I'm proud of you. Good. Then you're one of us, Maddie. I mean, there's just. I hope you get to play it back, and see these comments. There's a lot, so you deserve them all, in my humble opinion. And do this. Tell everybody where they can find you. Like, what's your YouTube channel? Maybe
Well,
send your
first,
friend
I want to
request.
say, like I said before, if you're gonna take my music offensive, please don't listen because I don't. It's not anything that's gonna lead anybody down a bad path, but it's my story. So, but you can. It's my name is MattyIce 1990. It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. You can also use if you go on Facebook Sounds and you type in MattyIce 1990, like all my songs come up on Facebook, so you can use my songs on like reels and stuff actually through Facebook.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
So like I get paid for like streams and stuff, which is like almost nothing, but like that's like pennies. But yeah, so I mean any support, I mean, yeah, like yeah, any support I appreciate it, and I'll support anybody. Like if I see your post and it's a positive message, I'll like it.
I've seen you do that, and I appreciate it too because I'm like and he's like I'm like okay, cool. I just like that you seem to be a man of your word, and I appreciate that, man. And we're gonna hopefully grow a friendship and brotherhood out of this. This is not something I just want to do to get an interview and make 8 cents on it. This is for other people. God's using me in spite of me, and He'll always make a way, even when I get in His way. He is the way. That's just me. I'm not ever going to push nothing on you like that. But if you ask, I'm going to share my story with you, and I'm glad He brought us together tonight. I'm glad He brought us through the stuff that we went through this last week.
Dude, I'm really grateful because, like, dude, I've been holding this stuff in to a point, because like I wanted my opportunity to be able to tell people, like, what it really is, like the truth,
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate everybody on here, and I appreciate you bringing me on here, so we could do this.
Man, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely want to stay in contact with you. So just keep, hitting me up, keep talking. If there's anything you want to know about me, I mean, I'm telling you the truth. So whatever you ask, that's what you're going to get. And I appreciate your time, man. And I'm honored to know you. I think your best days are ahead. Your talents, the skills are there. And I think God's going to use those in a mighty way. He already has, probably even more so than you realize. But man, you got years and years left in this game. Just keep your passion right there where it needs to be. Keep enjoying moments. Go fishing. You can probably go for hikes. It's okay. Don't let Netflix scare you. And
bro, that movie was.
I want to watch it. Don't ruin it for me. I'm watching it tonight.
Dude, listen. I swear on everything, right?
Me
and my girl sat there, and our hearts raced the entire movie because we both have PTSD. Like, so our hearts were.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Is that bad?
Dude, I don't like heights. Like, we're both deathly afraid of some heights.
I'm not a big fan of heights either, but I'm gonna make sure I'm laying down with the covers on and stuff when I watch it tonight. If the wife wants to watch it, of course. Matt, bro, I appreciate you, man. I respect the heck out of you. I always offer my guests to pray us out. If you don't feel comfortable with that, I'll do it, but I'll at least give you the opportunity.
Man, I have to thank God for, because He blessed me. He really, truly blessed me. And, I just want to say, like, I am thankful to God, because I could be dead. I could be still in a room by myself, and I'm not in a room by myself. So, like, I do owe all of this to God, and I know that, and Yeah, I want you to pray us out because you know that I am talking to God, but I want you to pray us out.
He heard you. He heard you soundly right there. All right, brother. Father God, whew, what a night, what an opportunity. This hour and a half that you already knew was going to happen. You knew every word that both of us was going to say. You knew everything we were going through this week. You know both of the intentions of our hearts. I just ask you to keep guiding Matthew. Just keep guiding him, Lord, closer to you, closer to your son. You are Christ is the truth, the way, and the life. And just keep putting things in his life, opportunities in his life that's going to get him closer to you. That's going to benefit him while he's here, and not just benefit him, but his girlfriend, his friends and family, his community, Lord. And just keep putting on him the calling that you placed on his life so many years ago when he first turned that piano on. And all the things that you led him through, all the times you were there with him when he felt alone, when he thought he was on the brink of death, Lord. When he was scared to come out of his room to get a snack, Lord, you were there. And everybody that's watching this and heard this tonight knows that you're using Matthew for a huge, huge reason. And don't ever overwhelm him, Lord. You never put too much on his shoulders. And thank you for bringing a brother into my life that I can talk to and relate with and maybe share some stuff with, Lord, the stories, the gospel. And just keep blessing him, Lord. And everybody that's listening tonight, bless them. They were very talkative in the chat. It was beautiful to see. They got a wonderful testimony. And I'm very grateful for every single person that's getting to watch this tonight and it's going to be watching it later on after it's shared out, Lord, to the people you want it to reach. Sending the message that you want them to hear, Lord. After we're off of here, it's no longer about me and Matthew, Lord. It's about the people that's going to hear his story that you get the glory for. And I just ask you to just be with everyone in their daily life, Lord. This world's getting darker and crazier and scarier, Lord, but with you, there's nothing to fear. It's written, do not fear 365 times in the Bible, I think, for a very specific reason. And we just want to give you all the praise and the glory and all the love, Lord. Thank you for making a way, even when I get in your way and using me in spite of me. Bless everyone. Bless everyone, Lord. I say this prayer boldly but humbly in your holy son, Jesus' name. Amen. Woo! That was fire, brother.
Dude, that gave me tears, bro.
Oh, come on.
Dude, I'm dead ass, bro. I mean, I'm sorry.
I've been wanting this one for a week. I didn't get to have last Sundays, but this is how good God is, man. The cancellation for last Sunday, you know who it is. I ended up seeing a sermon from him that he preached on Facebook when I didn't even think he had Facebook, and it was the greatest sermon I've heard in years, maybe ever, to be honest with you. And we started talking, and now he's going to be back on the spot next Sunday, the 3rd, James Guthrie, the 4th. So all the hoopla and all the fuss about bashing and shaming a guest for canceling, we're cool, and he's back on. So
see, that's
God wins.
out, dude. Like, it's okay to have disagreements, man. Like, if you just got to be man enough to apologize.
And he did, but and I don't even care about that because I know that God's got a reason and a purpose for things. So it's not like I even need that from you. I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing. God, I get it.
Something would have went wrong on that episode.
Yeah, that's true. And I said on there, I said, look, sometimes cancellations happen, and I don't get a reason. I've canceled some before too, but there's either a reason I don't know about, or it's protection from something, or God's setting something up for a bigger purpose. So when discernment comes into play, like for me, I'm like, I don't really want to, I don't feel comfortable sharing my testimony with a certain person or a certain group. I don't even really know why, but not doing it. So if that's used against me, then I'm guilty. I'm guilty for having discernment and following God's orders and commands. My bad. People that don't have Christ in their life and don't understand what it's like to be obedient and worship the universe and thanks, flowers and sunrises for their sobriety are going to criticize godly people because they so desperately want to be that, but all they have to do is just surrender and stop fighting. That's it. And not criticize and judge other people. No matter what they look like. Do I look like a Christian to you? Look at me. What's that supposed to look like?
I mean, listen, we all judge. We all judge. but don't judge someone to the point where you make them feel less than you. That's where it's a problem. Like
That's where it's shifted.
That's where I feel like if you're gonna come on my post and come at me because I'm Cali sober, like that's ignorant.
It is.
That's ignorant.
It is. It just is. I mean, God forgive me, but it is.
Because I'm not gonna start coming at you, whatever. I don't know, but yeah, that's
but
what I don't agree with.
And there's a difference between speaking about it and letting it like control you. All I'm doing is just I mean, the Bible doesn't say not to judge other people, but it's to judge them based on the fruit that's produced, because they might have some rotten fruit behind them, but they're acting a certain way. And what I do is I don't judge anymore. I just sentence my old self, because when I see somebody saying something or doing something a certain way that reminds me of my old self, I can't rock with that. It's not judging that person. I don't know what God's doing with them, but I see that they're doing things that God saved me from and removed me from. And that's all I care about. He shifted it. Oh, you're so judgy. I'm like, well, I don't want to sound and do things that you're doing. My bad. It didn't work for me 10 years ago. So I'm not going to do it today. Good luck with that. I'll pray for you, but that's it. But yeah, they want to like.
But I'm not going to tell you you're less than me because whatever.
Yeah, some will, and I don't know. I don't want to do that either. At the end of the day, God's going to do for them what He's going to do for them that they can't do for themselves, and I got to like take care of my household. That's it. Be willing and truthful in all my ways. And if that's not good enough for some people, well, we're all imperfect sinners. Of course, it's not going to be good for all people. But as long as God's cool with me and loves me and favors me and everybody else that I'm surrounded with, I'm good. Because discernment is the best gift of all. Grace is sufficient, but without discernment, I think a lot of people are just trying their best. I just want God to do His best, period.
All right, man, let's end this. It's been, 2 hours? Dude, listen, I got to give a shout out to my girlfriend because she's been sitting here doing her healing work for 2 hours.
Very cool.
Not talking, not moving. Just sitting here healing and listening, and I love it.
Wow. All right, brother, we're out here. Kudos to her too, and prayers for her and stuff. I hope you guys just keep growing together and staying together. Matthew Thomas, aka Cali Sober, MattyIce, everybody. We'll share that YouTube link. It's on my page anyway. Check his stuff out. Listen to his music. Don't be scared. It's okay. We're all adults. And listen to that stuff.
Go watch Apex.
I will tonight, man. Thank you so much, man. Hit me up soon. Thanks, everybody.
Later. See you guys.